We won the cup. We won the cup. We won the fucking cup, even though we fucking suck. Okay, so yeah, we won the FA Cup. I'm fucking happy as shit. It capped off what is an absolutely miserable season. Like by miserable, I'm not just saying bad. I mean fucking miserable season. Um, So yeah, let's just kind of jump into this. The cup game was our pretty much our standard game against a smaller team. We played, couldn't really do shit. We had a couple bright sparks. We had Flaney get a couple decent chances, which of course he didn't convert. You only do it when it gets shot at him and bounces off his knee. And then Marshall had a couple of good chances in the game, which today just wasn't going to be his day. You could tell that pretty early on. He looked lively. He looked creative, but once he got in front of goal, it just didn't seem like his opportunity. But in the end, we prevailed, and I couldn't fucking be happier. Um, I have been really a committed United fan for probably about 10, 11 years. That's when I kind of started to realize the joys of what the Europeans refer to as football, and I moved on from being the traditional American and started following. So I've never actually gotten to enjoy an FA Cup victory, so this is fucking awesome. I'm going to be completely honest. I went outside and finished my yard work with my Manchester United blanket tied around like a cape, and I was drinking beer at like noon, and it's 90 something degrees outside. I'm running around doing yard work with beer and a blanket tied around me. So I was fucking happy. My neighbors all think I'm crazy now, but it's okay. Um, So, kind of little in-game analysis. Dave, a few of these I might cry. Like I'll actually have to probably be like hospitalized for emotional breakdowns. He's fucking immense today. He had a couple saves where it was just like, wow. I don't know how you saw that. I don't know how you stopped that. He was phenomenal. The punch and goal, he probably could have done better for, but let's be real here. That was a short range shot. It was in a bad spot for him positionally. It was just above the shoulder, so he couldn't get his body behind it. He really couldn't get two hands to it, and it had some serious pace to it, so can't fault him for that one. But he was immense today. His distribution was good. And overall, solid performance. He did have this one weird thing towards the end of the game where he decided to punch the ball instead of catch it. That's kind of whatever. Our defense looks like fucking shit. Our defense, well, barred Valencia, but yeah. Anytime that we actually did have to defend today, it seemed like they were either going to score or we got a card, and ultimately Smalling got sent off for I don't know what the fuck that was. Yeah, he just like decided he's going to grab his foot and hold on. I don't know. Um, Blind was pretty awful today. Wickham made him his bitch quite a few times, and the left back was pretty much a non-factor today, regardless of if it was Rojo or Darmian. Our midfield, I thought our midfield was phenomenal. Rooney and Carrick, probably the best games they've had together. Rooney, not so much for his production, passing, and creation wise, but just for the sheer fire he brought to the team. I always have been saying that Rooney doesn't care so much about the club, he cares about the personal glory and personal achievements. And since the FA Cup is something he has yet to win, you could see that he had a different fire about him today, and that kind of just spread because we did have a fairly young team. So that fire kind of spread throughout the team and really brought everyone in together and helped us overcome the fact that they scored first. And for the once, probably the only time this season when we conceded first did we not just kind of tank it, put our heads down, and say, well, we fucking lost. The boys stayed in it, got after it, and really inspired the comeback goal and got us back into the game. Carrick today was immense. And I don't like Carrick lately. I love him as a player. I love him as a person, but this season I think he's been super underwhelming. He's made us a worse team when he plays. But today he was phenomenal. His passing was good. He was solid in shielding the back line. And he had some fire about him too. He got into it with MacArthur, and you could just tell the boys really wanted it today. And it was great to see. Mata, another subpar game, but he got the goal, so it's just kind of in the story of his season when he plays mediocre and he just pops up and grabs a goal. So I'm happy for him. As I mentioned, Marshall just didn't seem to be his day. You can kind of tell that just unless some act just kind of phenomenal effort wound up scoring. He was creative, he was lively, he was a problem, but he just didn't seem to have that final like ice that he usually has, where once he gets in the box, you just tell it he's lethal that day and he's going to score. It's a shame Rashford got injured. I thought he played well leading up to it. He had some good 1-2s with the midfield. Kind of worked his way around. Did a good job of creating an kind of good interplay with the front line. It would have been nice to see him score because he has really carried us in the FA Cup so far this year, regardless of the fact that we had a fairly easy run. But we'll get to that in a bit. Um, so he was like, oh, Fellaini. Fellaini. He did okay. He didn't do bad. His touch was actually pretty good today. His passing was relatively tidy, and he wasn't flying in with elbows like he had been lately, but he's out there to be a force in the air. And this season, he just hasn't been one. All of his goals have come actually from his feet, surprisingly. And he just, his accuracy is just so off. And I don't know if that's just a lack of confidence or he just isn't good at heading anymore. I don't really know how that happens, but he was just off today. I thought he was very useful on set pieces. He had quite a few good clearances. He did have a great clearance in the interplay that led up to Crystal Palace's first goal. But he was a good defender for us and helped out, added a different edge to our midfield. So I didn't mind him starting. I thought he merited his start today and did a pretty good job. um, so yeah, as we all know by now, it's fucking everywhere. Mourinho's gonna get appointed this week. I don't think this really comes as a surprise to most of us. Um, I'll probably do another video later, going well, probably once he does get appointed, addressing some of his past, so that people who don't follow him that closely can kind of get a look outside of just what the media gives you and what you hear from other people. I can give you more statistics and whatnot, providing exactly what he has done, where he's done it, how he's done it. But yeah, Mourinho probably will get appointed. I really don't like that the news broke right after, because as much as I've disliked what Van Haal's done recently, I do think that he deserved today. He deserved to enjoy the cup, and I think the way that it all broke out kind of took that away. Ooh, beer burps are gross. Um, so yeah, so this is gonna. It's a good way to wrap up a bad season, and we can just probably leave it at that. I think it'll help us a lot because we do have Europa now, and I know most of us won't care about Europa. Mourinho definitely doesn't care about Europa, but it will still allow us to kind of lure that top end talent that we'll be needing for this, and it's another source of revenue. And it's not near as much as Champions League, but it's still more money, and it's just more prestige to the club. Who gives a fuck? We won the FA Cup. Like, all of us wanted this. No one out there was like, oh, but I want to lose, so Van Gaal gets fired. No one wanted that. We wanted the FA Cup. We needed the FA Cup. And we ended a 3-year drought. And hopefully this, looking back, will be what, kind of like what 90 was for people looking back to the mid-90s once Fergie got going. Was people will look back and be like, that cup was what helped. That cup is what turned things around. And I am desperately hoping that's what this will be for us. Um, so yeah, I look. I admire Van Gaal for what he's done. You can look at our team now, and you can see the infrastructure is there. We have youth, we have experience, but just I heard someone, I think it was Martin Tyler, said, or maybe it might have been someone on Sophie, but I don't know. Someone said that he's a good coach but a bad manager, and I can acknowledge that. He's a great coach. He has good vision. He knows what he wants to do. It's just the way he does it that's the problem. And that's been a huge problem for me. It's been a big problem for a lot of people. I would be totally fine with him taking the director of football position. I think he has a good like long-term view for the club and creating a team. You can see that at Barcelona. You can see that at Bayern. Long-term, he helps teams get where they need to be. And as a director of football, that's what you want and that's what you need. But as a manager, I think he's too stubborn. His people management skills are fucking terrible. Like, you can just tell, generally players just don't like playing for him. And I just think he's he's too, like I said, he's too arrogant. So with how he thinks of himself causes him to be unwilling to make change, and he values age far too much. We saw this year when Carrick and Schweini were fit; they always were the starting two, and even at the detriment of the team, he played experience over talent, and that was a huge problem for me. Looking long term, like I said, I hope this is a springboard for us. I think it can be a springboard for us. And this is going to be a freaking insane summer. Mourinho will likely be announced sometime this week, and then the rumor mill will kick in full. Every player he's ever worked with, been linked with, is going to just come flying into our rumor mill, and shit's going to get crazy. But honestly, this alone will keep me going through all of it. I don't give a shit what happens at Euros. We won the cup. I'm ecstatic. Great way to end a shitty season. And I don't even know what else to say. Like, fucking happy. And so, yeah. That's all.